what their goals, and I mean, we all have, we try to do the best in everything because we believe in the hell and heaven, and we try everybody as much as they can to please God so they can go to heaven. So there are more peaceful Muslims, much more than evil Muslims.
Go ahead.
Me again from the Modern Advocate. I wanted to ask the audience, anybody have any experience of being unfair treated unfairly because you're Muslims? And I hear that from time to time, but I want to hear from this community. Is there anybody experience?
Very good question.
Hi again. When I was living in Florida, they discriminated me a lot in my work, and also when I was in my car walking down the street, they put their little finger on me, they spit on my car, they tell me go home, and this is pretty sad. And if I'm in the airport, they stop me and they check on me and everything. I mean, it's like I volunteer to do that. That is wrong. Just because I cover, that doesn't mean that I'm going to threaten you. I was in New York once, and I went to a restaurant, and this group of this guy was eating, and they say in Spanish, "Oh, she's gonna blow up us," and I was so mad. And I went to them and I told them, "I'm sorry, I came here to eat. I'm not going to blow you guys because I'm not like that. My religion does show that." So it's not only here in Massachusetts, it's everywhere you go, they are ignorant people. And it's something that we have to deal with that every single day. I mean, we can go out happily, and maybe 1 or maybe 6 months or 1 in a year, we have a bad incident or bad something not nice, you know. So, but it's happening here, just because we dress like this.
It happened to my daughter 2 days or 3 days after 9/11. She was living in New York, and she was going shopping with a friend, a girlfriend, and they saw my daughter is not covered. She's not believing in covering, and I cannot force her. But she has a necklace that has the Quran or the ayah of the Quran written, so they know that she's Muslim, and they start to throw rocks at her.
Oh, rocks?
Rocks, yeah.
Oh. In New York City?
In New York City.
How old is she?
She's a grown-up girl. She at the time she was like 20, not 22. So she's not like just a little girl. She's a woman. That's why I mentioned the vandalism and the hate crimes that is occurring all over the U.S.
As a professional in your field, I don't know if this is working.
No, it's
Okay. As a professional in your field, how would you talk to children like 12 years old and under about the fact that Islam is most of the time associated with terrorism? Personally, my 3 children are here today. I did not want them to be part of this. They're downstairs because my daughter never approached me about anything. She heard anything negative she ever heard about Islam, but my son did. And to be honest with you, I did not know how to explain to him, he's 8, in simple words. And I wish you could help me with this. I'd appreciate it.
Well, it is important to teach our children. First, we need to have trust between us that may help our children to trust us. Like you are a very good woman, a mother, and you are nurturing the children. And then you start to teach them about Islam and about Quran and about learning some Arabic words. But you have to be honest with them and tell them that some bad people did this, and but the Islam is not to be accused. Try to let them know you are proud of your religion, and it's a religion for peace, not for violence. And you know, I think the kids I didn't hear even from other Muslim families that the children really disobeyed and ran away or scared of Islam. I don't know why. I think most of our children accepted the fact that Islam is good, and just the bad treatment is because some bad people did bad things.
So there's, my children attend the OCRC here in
Okay.
Learn Quran and Arabic, how to read it and write it, which I'm very, very proud of. Hoping they would not lose interest in doing that anytime soon. But my son witnessed, there was a project here in his school about 9/11. And he was supposed to be part of that project. So when he came home with it, I kind of told him, you know, if you can stay away from the project, just because you know there are certain things you're going to hear, and believe me, I don't think you're going to be able to memorize in your small brain and understand how this young is made. So why don't you tell your teacher to do something else? But if she asks you why, I'm happy to go and talk to her. But to my surprise, she didn't have to say anything to the teacher. She just gave him another assignment. But that same teacher made comments about Islam while they were discussing that project on 9/11. And she said, all I care is all Muslims are terrorists. Not knowing, I don't think she knew that she had some Muslim kids in her classroom and she was offending them. But my son had a very negative impact on my son. And he lost his appetite for a few days. I was very upset. And especially upset about the fact that he would let me go talk to the teacher and tell her, you know, you should indicate it's not going to talk to her before spreading the word about you. You're a teacher, you're an educator, you can't be
Unfortunately, this is
cornered after she knows that he's a Muslim. So, you know, in my situation, I guess what I'm trying to say is, we're all proud to be Muslims, but sometimes you're put in a situation where you're not able to explain to your son why you don't want him to come forward and say, hey, I'm Muslim, why did you say that? Just because he's young,
still
and
young.
he's not going to
Still
be able to
young.
defend his point. So that's what
It's a sign of the Islamophobia. It's a manifestation.
Right.
And that's why we all have to work together to let other people, non-Muslims, know about us. Have workshops like this one, open the doors of mosques to non-Muslims, spread the word about teaching Islam so people can come and just learn what is this religion is about. And just be patient with your son, but keep in mind that he is young, and when you tell him when you grow up, you'll understand it better. But of course, you know, for a teacher to say this is horrible. And this is exactly what's Islamophobia, that we are all terrorists. That's exactly an exact example. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you comment on women's rights in Islam?
Yes. Women are very highly respected in Islam, more than what non-Muslims believe. When Islam came in the 14,000 years ago, the women were not allowed to inherit from the parents. They were not allowed to talk in the church or to speak in the church or give a question to the leader. When Islam came, he gave the rights of inheritance to women. He gave the women the right to have their own businesses, which was not allowed before in many countries. When Islam came, God said many times in the Quran, men and women are equal. Both are very important. The other freedom is that we have the right to divorce a man. Many people don't know this about Islam. If you really cannot tolerate living with a person, you have the right to divorce them. and this is very difficult in the Western world. It's called the khula. And I can say many examples about sayings of our Prophet, peace be upon him, that when one of the companions asked him, what you say about regarding your parents. So Prophet Muhammad said, your mother, your mother, your mother, your mother, and then your father. He mentioned the mother how 4 times more important than the father, because she is the one instilled the faith in the children. So it's very unknown to non-Muslims how Muslims are respecting their women. But of course, like in any kind of culture, there are men who are abusive and they have problem with the power and wanting to be the one to be heard. You know, he is the leader and he is the one when you don't, the wife doesn't have any choice. Some Muslims have this saying, some, but it's not Islam. And I'm sure in the Christianity, when the husbands mistreat or really hurt his wife physically or mentally, this is not in your religion either. So, you know, look at the human behavior is really universal.
Hi, I'm Sandy, and I would like to add the first person to ever accept Islam after the Prophet was his wife Khadijah. And one of our major scholars in Islam is a woman, Aisha. She memorized a lot of narration that the Prophet did and spoke of. And we, people that practice and learn, study them, read upon them, and she is a well-known scholar in Islam.
And women were allowed to come to the teaching in the mosque and ask the Prophet face to face any questions they have about this new religion. They were not prevented like some people think the women cannot even ask a question or they are oppressed. And no, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, our Prophet, allowed women, and they had a very strong, important role in the wars that it got fired because of the new religion. And so the nation around the people, the community were against this new religion, and they had to have some wars. And women were participating in the wars, either as treating the injured, make some meals to the fighters. They were with the men out in the battlefield.
And most importantly, we have a right not to work.
Yes, you have the right to work, but you have not to. No, but the issue, the Islamic rules about that is the woman has to satisfy the needs of her family, with the children, with the husband, and if she doesn't have time for the children, she should not work. She should be with the children.